Did you get a haircut?
Yeah.
Looking sexy, baby.
The last 2 episodes, I had the haircut. I've just had a hat on.
All right, didn't know. Looks good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the Flix Capacitor Podcast, hosted by myself, Parker McNerney, and my co-host,
Bryan McCloskey.
Oh, yeah. Bryan is handsome and sexy, and we met on TikTok, of all places, and we started a podcast, and this is what it's called, and this is our intro song.
Some people think.
Bam!
Some people have been saying that we actually met on Tinder, and that is. I just want to clarify that is not true. We met on TikTok.
Yeah, he did. I saw Bryan on Tinder. I was interested but hesitant, so I'm glad things ended up the way they did.
Well, I swiped right.
Is right good?
Yeah.
Is that like you want? Oh.
So you swiped.
I didn't.
We didn't match until we started talking on TikTok. But anyways,
everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. If we matched on Tinder, maybe we would have only connected physically, not emotionally. Through TikTok, through TikTok, we've connected emotionally, and we're friends now. We're intertwined, and we only kiss sometimes. It's not all the time. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about movies. I don't have any movie news. Do you have any movie news?
I feel like I do, but I didn't really think about it because I was so focused on what we were actually going to talk about. And you know what?
I don't know what.
You definitely have movie news. How was the? I don't know if you actually did watch it though, but did you watch the Evil Dead Rise trailer?
Oh, I did.
Because
that's right.
Talk about that because I actually did not watch it. But you can talk about that. You can talk about that.
Looks good. Looks great. I love the remake. So, not sure if it's the same director, but if it is,
I don't think so.
Even if it's not, Bruce Campbell is a producer, so that makes me hopeful.
Well, is Sam Raimi producing it?
I'm sure he has something to do with it. I'm not sure what or how, but. Yeah, it looks good. It's not in a cabin, which is interesting. So that's new, or it looks like it's not. Doesn't seem to be. Maybe like a lake house or something. I don't know. It seems to be mostly set in someone's home with a family. Yeah.
So but
it looks good. What?
Is this a direct sequel to the 2013 reboot?
That I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows, and if they do, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so because I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember how the last one. I think I remember how the last one ended, but I just don't. I don't know. It might just be this. It's a sequel, but it has nothing to do with the first set of characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just another story in the Evil Dead universe.
More like a spinoff.
Yeah, or like the Conjuring thing where it's okay, the Conjuring stuff happened, but the sequel is Annabelle or that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure. It looks good, though. It definitely looks good. I watched the trailer. It looks creepy. I'm excited to see it.
Cool.
It comes out April 21st, I think.
Yep, April 21st.
And
I'm
honestly,
looking at the stuff right now.
When we did our top 10 most anticipated, I forgot that was coming out this year, so I didn't even put it on my list, but coming out. I'm excited for it.
Nice.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think we have any movie news. I picked up Black Adam on 4K today.
Gross.
I don't know if that helps. Yeah, you know what? It's not that bad. It's like a solid 7, 6.5.
I remember I saw an ad for it on 4K, and I was like, oh, nice, it's out on 4K. I can't wait to not buy it.
I wouldn't have gotten it if it weren't out of obligation. Because since I'm a completionist, I'm not gonna have every DC EU movie except for that one. That would bug the hell out of me. I even own Captain Marvel, so it's not.
I own Captain Marvel, but in all honesty, I was like that, and then it kind of got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to spend money on a movie that I don't like.
Well,
I already spent the money to see it in the theater.
I wish I were capable of that. I wish I were capable of that control and not have it bother me, but you have no idea the mental strain that it would have on me and hold over me to just not have one,
I guess the only time I would do that if it's in like a combo pack, because I have the first two, or I guess the only two Alien versus Predator movies on Blu-ray. I only like the first one, but it was a combo pack for like $10. So
yeah.
Well.
No, it's just maybe I have psychological issues or OCD or whatever you want to call it, but it's
just completing the collection.
I'm a completionist, unfortunately, and
that's all right.
It sucks. Sucks a lot, but I guess it sucks to enjoying things is so expensive. I hate it. Just being alive is just so expensive.
So expensive. I swear I have to pay taxes on breathing.
Yeah, literally. And like we didn't even ask to be here. We just like it happened. Our parents did something and now we're here. Now we have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What is that about?
I wanted to be a wolf.
Yeah, this is on every level but physical. I am a wolf. This is no longer a movie podcast. This is like anti-government, anti-tax podcast now.
I feel like
taxation is theft.
Bush did 9/11. Birds are fake.
Birds aren't real. Anyway, we have a guest today.
Our second guest today. Our second guest. Very excited.
Guest. Oh yes, I'm pulling up his stats right now. I have some people in town, so I'm not as prepared. But should we just go ahead and introduce him? Is this it for the intro?
Well, say how big of an influence he has on social media. Say what numbers we're talking about, like followers.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Personally, he has influenced me more to post. I really didn't. I found him before I was posting. I shouldn't say like I saw his videos before I ever posted on TikTok, and he's one of the physical media people that like influenced me to like start posting because I didn't know anybody here, so it gave me something to do.
Yeah.
And so I started seeing his videos, and I was like, this is sweet. He seems like a great guy. And he seems like a great guy. And I've been following him for at least a year and a half, probably 2 years at this point. Maybe not that long. I've been following him for at least a year and a half because I started posting about a year and a half ago. So anyway, nobody cares. With 684,000 followers on TikTok and 12.8 million likes on TikTok, we introduced Bstarrcinema, aka Bryan Starr. Let's not put him in yet. Let's just keep talking.
Okay. People are just gonna be sitting there waiting. Okay, no, we can put him in now.
Hey, oh, okay. All right, we're going to put him in 3, 2, 1. Wait, where is he going to be? On the right or the left? No, he's on the bottom. All right, let's point down. Ready? Wait, all right. Wait.
You're thinking too hard on this.
I'm thinking too much. Ready? Brian's going to be here in 3, 2, 1. Bryan.
Hello, nice. Governor. It's me, Bryan.
Oh, here's Bryan. Bryan, how are you?
Good.
That's
ready
amazing.
For the big day.
Oh yeah,
we're all looking good here.
This is a big day. You're our second guest ever, and
Awesome.
This is probably the least prepared we've ever been for an episode. So we're so excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No worries.
I have like friends from where I used to live in town right now, so I just like shoved them upstairs. I was like, I'm busy, I can't do this right now. So
I didn't know that. That's funny.
But we have some questions for you, and we're gonna talk about Batman and film in general. Do you have anything that you would like to say before we get into it?
I prepared for this.
I saw on your Instagram that you rewatched I was like most of the Batman movies.
Yeah, I think I only missed 3 of what we're talking about today, and I did it all like within these past couple of days. It's the best. It's the best start to a year
Huh.
of like how many movies I've watched.
Nice.
I'm almost like double the amount of days it's already been, and at my age, like that's an impossible feat. But for this podcast, I had to do it.
Nice.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Wow.
We both appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
For sure.
Is Batman your favorite superhero? I think it's safe to say, but I'm not for sure.
Absolutely.
Same.
No, for sure. I grew up watching the animated series. That's my Batman.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm.
Still have my toys as a kid, and now I'm like collecting those same toys but on card
That's
as
awesome.
well. So that means a lot to me. But yeah, like as I got older, of course, I loved the Nolan films, and then I started playing the Arkham games, and I just dove in hard. Started collecting comics, really started like making Batman my personality, and I love it. I love the guy, and it's just him too. Like people will probably say, like, "Are you Marvel? Are you DC?" And I'm just like,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman, kind of just Batman.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
So I have a quick question that doesn't have to do with the podcast. It's just me being curious. Because I love the Arkham games. I literally just finished Arkham Knight for like the 10th time.
Nice.
And I've even gotten 240% on the Arkham Knight because I did like everything twice. So do you have a favorite Arkham game? And you can include Origins, even though that's not Rocksteady. But like out of the 4, do you have a favorite Arkham game?
Yeah, it's got to be the first one for me.
Really?
And that's mainly I like the bigger games because of the mechanics, the added mechanics. When they added the Batmobile, like that's incredible. Like that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
The first time you got to do that was mind blowing to me. But the first game truly is the reason I started just diving in deep on Batman. Even though I had all of this past, love for Batman, it was the first game where I was like, I don't remember these characters because I wasn't caught up on comic lore, and I was like, I don't remember these characters, and who's this guy, and that was like right before I started going to Comic Cons as well.
Nice.
So I kind of give credit to that first Arkham game. But the way that I played it so slow because I was trying to solve everything while also playing the main story. And it took me forever to get through that game because I was just loving every second of it. I really do love the other games, but that it's the first one I got to give credit to.
Nice. Personally, I think Arkham City might be my favorite because that's actually the first one I played because I didn't even realize that Arkham City was the sequel. And then I played it and I'm like, and at the time I was like, this is the best video game I've ever played. And then I realized it was a sequel to Asylum. So I went back, played Asylum. I just love that trilogy. I mean, the Arkham Origins is great too, but that trilogy in general is, it's just so good. So good.
Absolutely. Yeah. The whole Joker storyline is great. Yeah. It's a blast.
Oh yeah.
I've only played one of the Arkham games, and I played like 3 times, and it's whichever one is free on Game Pass.
I think did you drive the Batmobile?
Yeah.
That's Arkham Knight. Yep.
Cool.
And then
it was fun.
We're getting Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League this year, and it's Kevin. I don't know if it's Kevin Conroy's last time as Batman because I don't know what else he's done before his unfortunate passing, but I do know that he is coming back, and it's going to be the same Arkham Batman, and so I am stoked for Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
Stoked.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, my PS4 is the Batman, the third game or whatever.
Yeah. Man.
Because I had the games on 360.
Me
but
too.
Then the next game wasn't. It was like the newer consoles, and I was like, well, that stinks. But they do have a Batman PS4, so I might as well just go all out for it. So still got it. That for the longest time, that was my media player. I didn't have like a special Blu-ray player or anything. It was just my PS4.
Me too.
Nice.
That was me for a while. Yeah. Well,
I
cool.
love it. Bryan, we have some questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
You can say no.
All right. I'll see you guys.
All right, see you guys next week. That was great.
Yeah.
All right, Broen, do you wanna go ahead and throw the first one out there?
Sure. All right, Bryan. So, what was it that got you into not only social media, but like content creation in general? Was there a certain moment, like a certain point where you were like, I love doing this. This is, just what I want to do for fun. And even, as a career, is there anything like what got you into it?
It really started in 2006 when I joined YouTube. I'm an OG,
Nice.
YouTube baby. I joined the month before they went public. And that's mainly because since I was 12, I've wanted to be a filmmaker,
Oh yeah.
making, bad movies with my friends, my entire life. And then I discovered YouTube and realized that I could show my videos to other people and not just like my core group of family and friends that, of course, they're going to say it's good, but I kind of want other people to see it too.
Right.
And then Smosh, when it was just the two guys back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
they are kind of the reason why. Basically, I saw something where they were getting paid for their videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
And then of course YouTube has skyrocketed since, but that was pretty much like the start of, I don't have to just make feature films like I thought I did when I was 12.
Right.
I could make little videos, I could make sketches, I could do things like that and put it out there in the world. And did that on all of the platforms that you could name that were popular. I was late to Vine, but I still kind of got in there right there at the end and had a blast with that. But of course, TikTok is the one that kind of blew it all up, and now it's a big focus in my life for sure.
Nice.
But that's I definitely I credit Smosh, I credit YouTube way back in the day.
That's so funny that you bring up Smosh, because that was my childhood. That was my elementary school, middle school childhood. And then I do want to bring up one thing, and I'm sure you get this a lot. I remember like 7 years ago that pregnancy reveal video at Disney. I remember watching that when it came out, like before I even knew you.
That's crazy.
I watched that when it came out, and
wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear. I thought it was the sweetest thing, because like the one thing I love more than Batman is Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite thing ever. And so seeing that video, it was like the sweetest thing ever. And I even told my dad recently, I was like, hey Dad, you remember that one pregnancy reveal video at Disney where the guy is with Vader and the stormtroopers and his wife gives him the onesie, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a great video. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be on our podcast. And he was like, what? So yeah,
that's crazy.
I wanted to bring that up, that that's how I knew you. So that's when Parker was like, hey, that's awesome. Bryan from TikTok? And I was like, no. And he's like, this guy. And I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. So
how many views is that now, Bryan? It's at like what, 13 million or something like that?
It's been a while since I've checked. But yeah, I mean, every now and then I'll still get comments and views and a little money from it as well, just because of all the views it tends to get.
I don't doubt it one second.
Awesome. But yeah, no, absolutely crazy. That was insane. And that's, you see that it gets a lot of views, but you never really get to see the viewers themselves.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're saying that is really cool. Seriously, like that's super awesome. So that's great.
Yeah. All right, Parker, you want to hit him with the second question?
Oh yeah, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Bryan, wait, is your last name Starr?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, I just didn't know if that was like for funsies or not.
Nah.
Mr. Bryan Starr, where did your love for film come from?
So my family are movie watchers. We rarely ate around the kitchen table. We ate in the living room, watching stuff. My family had a VHS closet. You open up the closet and it was every movie that we had. My dad had a list that he would write if we ever got a new movie, and then type it out, and there'd be a nice like list that you could look through. So that's where my like love of physical media also started. But ever since I was young, we were watching movies, and my dad was or still is a professor, but he was a professor at another school where he would teach a film class every 2 years, like every other year or something like that. And so it was nothing crazy, but they were making videos, and I got to kind of be involved with that and just kind of watch that. And then, like I said, it was, a big movie that I credit as well for being kind of like, oh my gosh, I want to do that, was Shyamalan's Unbreakable.
Great
and
movie.
I saw that when I was 12.
Yeah.
And when I saw that movie and that plot twist and the music, and I still like can see it in my head of watching that movie, that's when I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And kind of took it from there. But I have always just movies has been my whole personality for the most part. And it all started just because my family, we just love to watch movies, and it would be more than just watching movies. We would talk about movies.
Oh yeah.
My parents, in order for me to not be scarred by certain movies, certain deaths, certain gruesome moments in film, we would talk about makeup and how people were able to create these things that I was seeing on screen. And so it was more than just watching a movie and it's over. It was the experience after that really got me into learning about movies and how they're made, and how story is its own thing, and how you got set decoration, all the people behind the scenes, and just all of it. I was reading every book and magazine that I could find, pre-internet.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And I've noticed that you've brought that into your family with Willow, right? I see on your TikTok a lot, which she is ranking movies and stuff, right?
She has probably watched more movies than any kid her age, especially like at her school. I'm sure there's other kids in the world,
sure.
But she's watched a lot of stuff. And I have like a little bit of guilt sometimes, but at the same time, like, she's going to be so smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. And watching movies can be related to so many other different art forms that I see it as character building. And I can't wait to see what happens from there for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's sweet. What's her all-time favorite movie?
It changes all the time, all the time. Like you could ask her last month, and it would have been probably something Christmas related. That's just how kids are. But there's well, what she would say right now is Zombies 2 from the Disney Channel original movie series, Zombies.
Right.
Yeah,
nice.
She's obsessed with Zombies too. So there you go. That's the answer.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Bryan, go ahead.
All right. So I guess this question was kind of already answered, but because you had mentioned that growing up, your family collected VHS tapes, which I could relate to that too. But did you just kind of like evolve with media? Like, DVDs came out and you started collecting DVDs, and then Blu-rays came out and you started collecting Blu-rays. So like, was there a certain moment where you were like, I want to own like basically like every movie I've ever loved, in like the best format ever? Was there like a moment that you've thought that and like really got you into actively collecting, or was it just kind of something that you just grew up on, you just continue to do it?
Yeah, there was a moment, and it was when, and this is post, DVDs have come out by this point, but it was like about 2 years before I was going to college when I realized, hey, this awesome movie collection that my parents have is not my collection. I don't have a collection. I should start collecting.
Nice.
And it was that Christmas, I was sent an Amazon gift card for like $35. And I went on Amazon and looked at the used movies. to try and get as many movies as I could for as cheap as possible, which has completely like been my whole thing throughout my entire collection.
Nice.
And my first movie was Dumb and Dumber on DVD.
I love it.
Because that's my favorite comedy.
Love it.
So
nice.
That's when it started, and I just kept collecting because I just loved it. I loved being surrounded by the movies that I love. I loved getting them for cheap, and that's why my collection is so large. Is because I'm very cheap, and I did a good job of getting a lot of movies at the expense of multiple rental stores closing as well. Like it was a good time to start collecting because rental stores were closing, and as they closed, they got rid of their collections, and so I would buy 50, 60 at a time at these stores, because it wasn't just the movies that were for sale, it was the movies that have been on their shelves for years. The kind of rare stuff that is really hard to find in person. And that was a blast. That was so much fun. But yeah, I was so cheap that I never bought movies online for a long time. I would always buy secondhand and in person, for sure. But yeah, that's what started it all.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
It's sweet.
All right, are we jumping into the rankings? Oh, sorry, Parker, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. We were just talking about asking you like a two-part almost. What was your favorite movie of 2022? And what's your most anticipated of 2023?
Yeah, that's a bit tough for me. In fact, I'm about to post a TikTok. I haven't posted a TikTok in like 3 weeks. Kind of taking a break.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Maybe 2 weeks, but definitely 2 weeks, if not 3.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to start posting back on Monday, and I've already filmed it, and it's my top 20 of 2022 that I didn't see.
Yeah.
And I go into talking about the fact that here it is. I have this many movies that I didn't see from last year, which is over 50.
Yeah.
I had a rough year, and I didn't watch a lot. I missed some really big titles. You could probably name one, and I'd say no.
Yeah.
The one though that, without thinking, that just really impacted me the most, and I'm sure a lot of people will say this because it's true, is of course Everything Everywhere All at Once. The filmmaking of that, the story, it's just great, and it got me so good, very emotional. And I love the Daniels. The Swiss Army Man is one of my favorites. And it's mainly just from like a filmmaking standpoint, because they're doing all of this practical stuff in an age where practical doesn't happen as often.
Right.
And so seeing that movie and how it was made, but also the fact that it was also just good, really did it for me. But I did not make a list. I did not make a top 10 for 2022, just because of how bad the year was for me, and how much I missed. But I did make a top 10 of I think I said 20, but it's a top 10 of the movies I didn't see in 2022. So I at least made a list. It's just not a happy list. Yeah. I'm very embarrassed by it.
That's all right. That's all right.
Did you see Top Gun?
I did see Top Gun in theaters. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. That's a big one. Great movie. All right. What's your most anticipated for this year?
So when COVID happened and Tenet kept getting pushed like every month, I gave up on looking forward to the year. And that hasn't changed yet. So you could maybe name a movie, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about that. I know a lot of directors have a lot of movies coming out. But you could tell me the name of Scorsese's movie without saying Scorsese, and I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like if I said, hey, what's Scorsese's movie? And then you told me, then, that's how I got my answer. But if you just mentioned it, I couldn't tell you what the title is. So I know like all of these big directors that I absolutely love are coming out with movies. I think Wes Anderson has one coming out. Obviously, Shyamalan has one next month, and I'm the self-proclaimed biggest Shyamalan fan on TikTok. And that's a whole other thing. So Knock at the Cabin's coming out next month. So right now, maybe that's my biggest.
Okay.
But I know there's going to be like bigger and better movies coming. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now. But it's going to be a good year. I saw a recent Instagram thing that kind of listed, I don't know, like 20 or 30 different movies, and 98% of them were sequels or related to some IP.
Yeah.
So no originality, but there's a lot of excitement in there as well. So definitely excited. It's going to be a good year, and it's going to be a better year for me watching movies. But I have done zero preparation.
That's all right. That's all right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. It's time. It is time to rank Batman movies. I think we should let Bryan go first, probably, right?
Yeah, we can.
Or do we not care about him?
We can let Bryan. We can go down the list, from bottom to top, and Bryan, you can say yours, and we'll talk about it, and then Parker and I will just quick say what our ranking is, like what our movie is at that place, and then we'll go on to your next one because we really want this episode to be, about you. So,
okay. Yeah, cool.
So,
yeah. So we have 10 movies, and these are live action.
Yep, all 10 live action Batman.
Because if it wasn't, of course, Mask of Phantasm and Lego Batman would have to be thrown in. But
Lego Batman movie so good.
Oh yeah,
so good. It's just so smart, and it does a great job of giving him character, but also making fun of him.
Yes,
which he needs to have. He needs that sometimes. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, well, starting at the bottom. So like I said, I rewatched a lot of these movies in preparation, and I'm so glad I did, because it had been a very long time, especially since I've seen the Schumacher films, and honestly, since the Nolan, I don't remember the last time I saw the Nolan films. To be honest. So that was great. I need to rewatch the ones that I missed. I probably still will this weekend. But the Last Place movie, watching it again, just like made me so mad, and that it's just the worst. And so Batman and Robin has got to be the bottom for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would imagine a lot of people say that.
Yeah, of course. Is that like is it both like an enjoyment standpoint and also like how well they adapted everything, or is it just like this movie sucks and I don't want to watch it ever again?
Like, part of me wants to like it ironically. Like, I am wearing the logo hat, which I do love, but watching it again just made me mad. Like, I was just mad that this was written and given a budget, and it's mainly just like I really wanted to do my best at paying attention at why it made me mad, and some of like every character is just flawed in so many ways to their, like, from honestly, like, maybe Mr. Freeze is the closest to like his character in across like all forms of media, but every character is not themselves, especially Batman. And so I'm just mad. I'm mad anytime Robin is trying, he like doubles down on like, hey, by the way, I'm your partner, and that makes me mad. And then at the end, Barbara Gordon is like, partners? Yeah, we're all partners, and we're all running together at the end down the tunnel. And just like, gosh, it just makes me so angry.
And she's what, Alfred's niece?
Granddaughter,
right?
I think, or
in the movie?
niece,
Niece or
granddaughter,
like that.
something.
Yeah, like
dude,
random family member.
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There's a whole Alfred subplot. There's
That's
there's
right.
a
Yeah.
20-minute pod race. Like I refer it to the pod race scene because it's the same exact thing that happens in episode 1.
Yeah.
Where we just get this way too long, like cool, like fun. Like I love pod racing, but did it have to be that long?
Yeah.
So we get that whole bike scene, and yeah,
The
yeah.
and of course
It's
puns.
it's fun to
I
watch.
was-
It's fun to watch, but it's definitely not like a good
I was
watch,
about
you
to
know?
say the puns. The puns are like the only thing I can really take from that movie. Like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Like, I think that is so funny. But I like, ironically,
Or like the bat credit card
yeah.
was like,
Never leave
you
home
know what I'm
without
talking
it.
about?
or the bat nips, of course.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but bat nips, those are the first set of bat
true.
nips.
That
So
is
you can't
true.
really be, you
It's
can't
true.
blame the
That's
movie.
true.
but we did get gratuitous close-ups of butts from all three.
Yes, we did.
As they suit up, and especially
Oh, yeah.
Batgirl's, because she's like zipping her boot or something. So it starts from the boot, and then the sound ends, and then the camera moves up, and you just get that nice butt for way too many frames. Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, what's
it's
your
the
number 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
expected. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So
Batman and Robin's actually number 1 for me, so.
who's your favorite character? Bane? Who's your favorite character in it? Bane?
Wait, what'd you
who's
say?
your favorite character in it? Bane?
Bane. Yeah, dude, the super juiced up like criminal, just random guy. Oh my god, dude! Everything about this movie is just like one giant McDonald's commercial, and it's funny and it's really fun to watch. But it's I almost wouldn't even count it on this list. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, and it exists, and I'll still watch it every once in a while. Brian, what is your number 9?
Yeah, rewatching the movies kind of really helped me figure this one out, and I did a top 10 or the best a year ago when The Batman came out. And rewatching my top 10, I actually switched a couple around, and this one is a switch. So I'm actually putting at number 9 Batman Forever, the other Schumacher film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you?
Yeah, I love.
Oh.
No, go
Well,
ahead.
I was just. Are you a fan? Because I know some people are actually really big fans of Kilmer Batman. Do you like his take on Batman, Bruce Wayne, or were you just not in? This is not for you.
Love it.
Really?
No, I love
nice.
it. Yeah, I'm a big Kilmer fan. Always have been, especially of course since the movie Willow.
Yeah.
But big Kilmer fan, and rewatching it, I paid close attention to like, okay, who's the better Batman, Clooney or Kilmer? And before I even watched Batman and Robin, I was like, of course it's Kilmer.
Yeah.
Like he's doing his best Michael Keaton, and taking it very seriously. Unfortunately, surrounded by villains who are both goofy.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
what I forgot was I knew Jim Carrey was up here,
Of course.
but so is Tommy Lee Jones. He is going way.
He's trying to
too
keep
hard.
up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's trying to like out Jim Carrey, and it's just it does not work.
And you put them together, and it's just an SNL skit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like I love it. I love it because it's so kooky, but it's I'm good. Like let's keep the ball rolling with those two sometimes, but every now and then Riddler has great moments. We get some serious Jim Carrey in there every now and then. And when he says the word God in that really deep voice, is just, it's so cool. I don't know why they decided to do it, but I was like, that's something I will remember forever.
That's fun. I remember as a kid, the ending when Riddler sees the giant bat flying at him. As a kid, that terrified me.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But
Did you ever see that deleted scene of the giant bat that they had Val Kilmer standing in front of?
I've seen that.
No.
You haven't seen that? Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's some people say it's like supposed to be Man Bat. I don't know. I took it as just no. It's a metaphor type thing.
No. Yeah, it for sure is. And that's the thing is that like Batman Forever could have been really good because I think Val Kilmer is a great Batman. And it's just they kind of screwed the pooch on everything else. And, you know, they really could have, because they were trying to dig deep into him dealing with his parents' death and, you know, dealing with whatever Batman is to him. And they like kind of touched on it and then didn't. And it could have been great, but it's not.
Well, I think the studio wasn't a fan of Batman Returns because of how much darker it was than the first movie. And they were like, we want Batman to be campy and fun again, like the Adam West show. And so that's why they went like over the top with this one. And clearly people were like, what? Wait a minute. we took a couple steps back.
Yeah. This was the beginning of Warner Brothers. Yeah, this is the beginning of Warner Brothers choosing like toy sales over good filmmaking, you know?
Yeah. And you know,
yes.
Well, one.
Speaking of toy sales, there's a line in Batman and Robin where Poison Ivy's literally like every figure comes with an extra toy, and it's Bane. You know, she points to Bane, and so yeah, I mean, it's
my god.
Especially by the time we got to Batman and Robin, it was just commercials for toys and
I even have
it's insane. And McDonald's
I was gonna say I have 2 of the glass McDonald's mugs from Batman Forever. I have 2 of them. They're in storage. Otherwise, I'd have them.
Those are probably worth something.
Actually, I don't think they are. I looked it up on eBay and they weren't really worth much. And I was like, well. I mean, I was gonna keep them no matter what they were worth because I've had them since forever. But since Batman Forever. But...
Yeah. That's stupid. Shut up, Rowan. Did you guys know that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones like don't like each other, and Tommy Lee Jones like hated working with Jim Carrey on that film?
Yeah, which is
hilarious.
Insane.
Yeah, it's really it's fun watching it. It's fun watching it and knowing that. Yeah. I love that
because you could just see Jim Carrey bugging, like just getting on his nerves. Like I can just tell because Jim Carrey's, I mean, he's all over the place, so I get it. Brian, what's your number 8?
66 Batman. It's just fun.
It is.
It's absurd.
It is. Bat shark repellent. And then it falls and then it blows up.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that blows up in that should not be blowing up. Yeah. Rewatching.
Oh, you know what I just
rewatching it. That's when I realized like they knew what they were doing with the campiness.
Yeah.
Like there's this one part where Batman goes to an elevator at the like international meeting where all of these international people are ambassadors or whatever are meeting, and he goes through the different versions of the word up before he finds the English version and then presses the clearly up button to go up in the elevator. That when I saw that, which is much later in the movie, but when I saw that, I was like, this is Naked Gun. This is Leslie Nielsen comedy.
This is peak cinema
here. And just peak. But every character or every actor also knows exactly what they're doing. Like they're not trying to like win an Oscar here. They're trying to just be campy as hell.
Yeah.
And
they're having a good time.
Yeah. And so was I.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. And I just realized that Brown and I didn't talk about our number 9.
Actually, so far, mine and Brian's list is the exact same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Interesting. My number 9 is not Batman Forever. It's actually The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Yeah, it's low.
What?
Which is, it's not a bad movie, but it's in terms of enjoyability, it's lower on the list for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that whenever I get to it.
Absolutely.
And see. It's coming up. Moving on.
Number 7.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Brown.
Or
Broen, what's your number 8 is also 66?
Yeah, what was your number 8? Oh, not perfect.
Hey, me too.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love 66. Like that was like my Batman as a kid. But it's compared to the rest, it's just you know, it's just there. And it's fun, it's sweet, it's nostalgic,
it's like,
but after
I love it, but
not
that's not what I watch Batman for. You know. But it's still great.
Yeah.
It's still campy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah. Bryan, what's your number 7?
I'm gonna go. I'm looking at it and I'm trying to think if I want to swap it, but I don't think so. I think I'll stick with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Oh wow!
Are we talking theatrical or
Ultimate
theatrical
edition?
Or Ultimate Edition? Which you don't have to include both.
You know what?
It can be one or the other.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going with theatrical.
Do you prefer the theatrical
Interesting.
over the Ultimate?
No, but I honestly totally forgot about it.
That's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine.
I've never seen the theatrical cut.
Oh, really? Okay.
I
never saw it. I hadn't seen the movie until 2021.
I saw it opening night and I was very disappointed. And then I watched the Ultimate Edition and I was like, yeah, that extra 30 minutes was essential.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the thing to do with Zack Snyder and DC is kind of just wait for a little bit and it gets better.
Yeah. No kidding.
But that being said, I am and this is very controversial to many people who hated that movie. I love the Martha thing. I know people like to make fun of it, but I love it because that is the whole reason why Batman is doing what he's doing.
Thank you.
Which is what this movie focuses on.
Yes. Yes.
And
absolutely.
And a lot of people, they say, did we really have to see, the parents die again, the 16,000th time? And I would say, like, in this movie, in order for that Martha scene to work, it does. But yeah, I see a lot of people, they make fun of it. But I honestly got a little emotional because that was a really cool moment to me. And kind of, again, it's the whole reason why Batman is doing what he's doing. And so to see these two kind of find that common bond, it's pretty strong and pretty emotional stuff.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
I think, yeah, I fully agree with you. I think a lot of people who make fun of it don't get it,
Absolutely.
to be honest. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people just kind of saw it as like this surface level thing where it's like, well, that's stupid. All he said was his mom's name.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like there is so much depth here that, maybe you don't feel as much in the theatrical cut. I don't know. But watching the Ultimate Edition, like I didn't get why everybody thought it was funny. Like I love that moment.
I remember watching it opening night and I saw it with a group and when it got to that scene, I was the only one that was like, because even in the theatrical, I was the only one that was like, damn, how did I not realize that that their moms had the same name? Like, but I was like, that's genius. Like, how did I never think about that?
Yeah.
And then I get out of the theater and all of my friends are like, oh my God, I can't believe they became best friends because their mommies had the same name. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious?
No, that's not. It's like not even a little bit.
My biggest problem with it, honestly, was I felt like, for me, it felt like it was a cool Batman movie trapped in a boring Superman movie. And and I wasn't a fan. Obviously, like this was probably everyone's biggest gripe about it when it first came out. I was like, I don't like Batman's killing. I don't like that. And then I watched the Ultimate Edition, and it explains that he's completely lost himself. He's completely lost everything he stood for. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. But you know what? If you get upset about Ben Affleck's Batman killing, then you get to get upset about almost every other live action Batman movie. Sincerely. because almost every other live action Batman has killed somebody, and just because Ben Affleck is cool about it doesn't mean you get to bitch and moan.
Well, yeah, like
Ben Affleck kills people with style.
Keaton was attaching bombs like TNT to people and throwing them.
Dude, yes, Keaton just gunned down people like for fun. So you don't get to, and it's funny. So I think people just hate Zack Snyder and that whole universe and you can like what you like, but to hate somebody that you don't know that much, and to hate, because of a movie, because of this fictional movie is just insane to me. But my number, so that was your number 7, right? Batman v Superman,
Yes.
Brian? All right, bro, what's your number 7?
I love this movie. I love it. I'm just saying I like my top 6 more. Parker, don't get too upset. It's Batman Returns. I still love it. It. It's like now we're getting to the Batman movies that I absolutely love. I'm just saying that my top 6 I like a little bit more than Batman Returns. So it's Batman Returns.
That's crazy. That makes, I get it. I understand.
It is the least.
My number 7 is actually
the least Batman movie of them all. Batman shares the least amount of screen time.
Yeah. But I do love.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get to it when we get to yours. I'll talk about it when we get to yours.